So, studying abroad was amazing to say the least. I got to be part of a family, I got to visit other countries, I got to meet tons of French people, I got to eat food, I got to pretty much do anything that I wanted. Oh, and of course, I got to learn French.
On va pas tarder.
Tu veux que je le fasse?
Ouais, je veux bien.
But as with any experience, there were some bad times. There were also some pretty damn weird times too. And that's what I want to focus on today. I thought it'd be really fun to share some of the weird, crazy, random experiences that I had while I was in France. And let's jump in. I was out with the other American kids on the second night of the program after a full day of just exploring. Night fell, as it does, and I had to make my way back to my apartment. However, there was one problem, and that was that I didn't know how to get back. Thankfully though, my friend had a GPS on his phone. Well, he had Google Maps, and he had data, so he actually was able to bring me back to my apartment. Sounds like everything would be fine, right? Unfortunately not. I realized that I was on the right street. I thought that the apartment looked a little different than in the daytime, but I was just like, you know what? It's nighttime, and I just haven't seen it in the dark before. I end up saying goodbye to my friend. He goes on his way. When I get to my apartment, like, building number, I realize that it looks completely different, especially because my keys didn't work in the keyhole. It is nighttime and I'm in a crime area. My host sisters had told me that the area that I was in was a very high drug, heroin, like trafficking community. And I was like, oh, well, that's great. I have no way to communicate with anyone because I do not have a French SIM card myself. At that point, I just begin to freak the fuck out. I was out alone at night with no way to contact anyone and in a city that I didn't know. I start hyperventilating, I start panicking, I start buzzing every single person in this goddamn apartment complex. And people start answering and they're like, allô? Qu'est-ce que tu veux? C'est qui? And I'm like, I'm an American and I'm lost and I don't know what I'm doing here. Luckily, some French lady lets me into the building. I climb to the top because my apartment is located on the 5th floor, and I hate when people fucking see that I'm filming. As soon as I'm inside, I know that it's not my building. I completely lost it. I thought I was gonna die, or I thought I was gonna have to sleep in that staircase. But then my senses slowly came back to me as the tears rolled away. I realized, wait. You recognize the street name. This is definitely the right street of your apartment. I come up with the genius idea of trying my key on every single goddamn lock, every single door that is on this street. I finally see it. I see my building in the distance down the next intersection, and I start crying again. I try the key on the lock, it works, the door opens, I push through, I fucking leap up the stairs, and I open the door to my apartment, and my host mom is like right there. Really quickly, I like wipe all the tears away and I'm like, salut, bonsoir, ça va? And my host mom is like, yeah, like I'm fine, how are you though? Tu vas bien? And I'm like, yeah, no, like I'm good, I'm good. Like, I'm good. It's fine. So it turns out that my university had given me the wrong fucking address the entire time, even before I went down there. They said it was building number 22, when in reality it was building 20. So thank you, University of Maryland staff, for making my first week in Nice a very stressful one. So these next two stories are just really embarrassing. In French, just like in English, there are words that are more formal that you would use in like a school type setting, and there are words that are more colloquial that you use with friends or family, whatever. Well, I have a friend, she is pretty much fluent in French because she actually grew up speaking it.
Le chien? Non, mais elle avait comme ça, elle fait comme ça, c'est pas le chien. Ça c'est face à face.
En fait, j'avais
Comment ça marche? Là, j'ai pas compris.
But she would teach me a lot of cool new words that I didn't know before, and one of them was drunk. And so in school, we were reading this book called La Venus d'Île. It was, I don't know, some Maramé bullshit. So our professor asks the class, why is this certain character acting really weirdly in this scene? And me, knowing the answer that he was just really drunk, I'm like, oh, yes, I can tell you exactly why he's acting really weirdly. She calls on me, and I say, oh, il est beurré, non? To which then a few students start busting up laughing, and my professor's like, oui? Mais on dit ivre en classe. After class, I call my friend and I'm like, hey, beurré means drunk, right? And she's like, yeah, it means drunk, why? Well, I said that to my professor today. She's like, no, you dumbass. Beurré is slang. It means like he's shit-faced. So that's the story of me saying shit-faced to my professor in class, so. Yeah. It's also fun to note that every single time she said ivre again, she looked right in my eyes, directly at me for the rest of the class period. Which is 3 hours, by the way. I saved the best story for last, y'all. Are you ready? Buckle up. 1 month into the program, I got pretty sick. Sick as in I literally could not move or else explosive diarrhea would like shoot out of my asshole. Bathroom was located right next to both of my host sisters' doors. I didn't know them personally yet. So I felt really weird about like even making noise around them. The next day, the girls decide to have their friends over and they're like screaming and shouting and I'm like in the bathroom like holding onto the wall for dear life. It gets quiet all of a sudden. They're not screaming, they're not shouting, and I'm like, oh no, they're gonna hear this. And so then it happens and it's super loud, like you can hear it probably from the other side of the house, but like my host sisters heard it, their friends heard it, I don't know who else was in the house, but all these people who don't know me just hear like a massive like, shit sound like coming from the toilet. So that was so great. Eventually dinner came around and I was actually able to lift myself up and go to the dinner table. My host mom had made chicken and like an assortment of vegetables and like salad for everyone to eat. But instead of the normal plate that my host mom set for me for dinner each night, there was just a bowl of rice there. When I sat down at the table, she looks like right at me and was like, this good for you, this help you. Oh my god, it was so embarrassing. That means that like she heard what was going on too. It must have been really loud and really disgusting for everyone. So that's gonna conclude all my embarrassing stories for today, but there, trust me, are plenty more where that came from. So if you wanna see or hear any more, please comment below. I'm gonna be doing more of these videos about study abroad. I'm gonna be bringing my friend Grace, and we're gonna talk about how our lives changed as a result from study abroad, some unexpected ways that it affected our lives and how we perceive the world. Thank you so much for watching this video. I will see you soon. Bye!